The USMNT has hit a rough patch that's hard to ignore. Once a squad brimming with promise and potential, they've lately taken the field looking disjointed, uninspired, and dare we say it, heartless. Fans have watched in frustration as the team struggles to find its rhythm with lackluster performances from its star players and head coach, exposing a glaring lack of passion and cohesion. Where's the fire? Where's the grit that used to define American soccer, even in the face of the toughest opponents? Right now, the USMNT seems stuck in neutral, playing with a puzzling detachment that's left supporters wondering if this group has the will to turn things around by 2026. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to MLS Moves. Please make sure you like this video down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the little bell notification so you never miss any of my videos. I brought on USMNT legend Eric Wynalda to talk about the recent struggles of the U.S. men's national team, if they'll be able to fix things before the 2026 World Cup, and why does this team feel so lost? Now, on to the video. Eric, welcome back to the show, my friend. Today, we will be talking about sadly, the USMNT after their terrible performance at the Nations League. You had a clip after that game, and the best way to sum it up was you said, "At least I gave a shit." Talking about anytime you put on that USMNT crest. Man, this is pretty bad right now. We were told that we hire a manager like Mauricio Pochettino and all of our problems go away, but clearly that's not the case.
Well, okay, let's okay. Just to clear it all up, we're a little bit removed from the game. That little clip was on X immediately after the game. I just people know I did drive home and I was not inebriated, so don't worry. Everybody goes, man, you must have been pretty drunk to say that. I literally said the same thing that Clint Dempsey said, but he was on a network, so he couldn't swear. That's it. That's all that really happened. And I think when you talk to former players, when you talk to people who have put on the jersey, I think that we kind of see what everybody else is seeing. But there were certain levels of anger when you watch your team play the way they played, and there really didn't seem to be a feeling that our group or our guys gave a shit. They just kind of walked off and shrugged it off and said, well, obviously, I mean, I was watching Christian Pulisic's interview after. Well, obviously, we're upset about this, and I care so much about this. Then fucking prove it. I mean, you can't say that. You can't say that to people like, oh, I really care. I really care. And then play the way we did. Now, this isn't all about Christian Pulisic's performance. There's a couple of guys in there that were going through the motions. And I went back through the game and I picked out, I think, 17 instances where a very simple level of effort would have changed the play. And all those little things add up. Now, there's certain things that can happen to you out there when you underestimate your opponent, and they're better than what you thought, obviously, and they're playing a brand of soccer that puts you off because you're trying to get to the ball, but they're moving the ball quickly. They've got talent, they've got technical ability, and they make it look silly. And what you got to be able to do when you put the national team jersey on is throw all that shit out the window. Nobody cares what you looked like doing it. Just get it done. It was so sad to try to explain to my kid who watched the game with me and said it was weird watching them not care.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care, man.
But that's his take. But I mean, but there's a part of this where we've told them how great they are for so long that they're believing their own headlines. They think that if there's a flip side to this. Everybody say, "Wow, Christian Pulisic and Musa, they play for AC Milan." Well, AC Milan's in 9th place, by the way. The rest of the people who aren't going to really be on board with this are going to start throwing rocks at our guys because they say that they're great, but their teams aren't performing great. I mean, the Juventus just lost their manager because of some bad performances, one after the other. And, Wesley McKennie is wearing the captain's band in the middle of the park. And he's got to be held accountable for that. It is a really shitty thing and I've been a part of teams that have lost their manager because the team underperformed for various reasons. but it's a tough cross to bear. I mean, it really is. It hits you, man, because you're a performance. The guy that brought you in, or the club team, is losing his employment because you can't figure it out on the field. And if it's lack of effort, then that's 10 times worse. See, the national team isn't about that. This is one, it's forced friendship, right? We don't get to choose, really. We select. That's why everywhere else in the world it's called the selection. But we select the best players to play to represent our country to win the game. That should be the way it is. We did think that Mauricio Pochettino was going to instill maybe that edge, right? That street fighter. We're going to go out there and fight. I have not seen our guys throw a punch yet. I mean, if this is a fight, we are just taking more punches than we're
We're
throwing.
getting beat down, man.
Yeah, and there's a thing to be said. If you a rope a dope, but we ain't. That's not what we're doing either. We're not actually, you know, in a situation where we watch these games and we say our guys are really going for it. You can tell that they're going for it. Our guys are just going through the motions and making plays, and then kind of like making sure they don't make a mistake, as opposed to being brave and trying to make a play happen. I mean, I said this to my friend the other day. I'm loud. I mean, it was Tab Ramos. Tab Ramos and I talked a little bit before after this game. And I talked to other guys that I had played with because I was just curious. And we all saw the same thing. But the analogy that I used is I said, if you put a baby in a stroller or on a car seat on top of a table, which is never a good idea. Parents don't do that. But let's say you did, right? And you're about 3 or 4 feet away from, or 4 yards away from the table. And then the baby, for some reason, rocks and is going to fall off the table and hit the ground. Does it really fucking matter what you look like in the process of saving that child? No, you don't need to look cool doing it. You just need to get it done. You need to get there and make the play. Catch the kid. And you don't care. And when I watch this team play, I feel like they're trying to somehow, everything that they do has to be done cool. Like, did you see that? Like, and I don't know where this is coming from, as opposed to, hey, look, I mistrapped the ball. I got to make a tackle. And then there's a back off of like, you know what? So I mistrapped the ball. So what? And you kind of go, what are they doing? Like, where's this coming from? I mean, like, and Tab and I were talking about a good 3.5 minutes of a game that we both played in Paysandú, in the Copa America, where we just took a little clip of the actual game, and we said, just watch that. Just watch that 3 minutes. You don't have to watch the whole game. Watch the commitment of the group. Watch the reaction of the opposition. Watch the way that we played, how hard we played, the tackles that were made, the punches that we took, the hits that we took. Nobody rolled around. We got the hell back up, stuck our chests out, put our face in there. So, you want to go, man? Let's go. You want to fight? If that, but you think this is the fact that we stood up to Argentina when they tried to bully us, scared the shit out of them. They were like, damn, it's not working. We're trying to bully them. We're trying to kick them. We're trying to scare them. And they aren't really reacting the way we want them to. And then we took it to a whole new level. And you had Tom Dooley, who was just taking people out and smiling and going, what? And they're pushing him. He's like, get away from me, little man. I mean, it was a moment where we basically kind of said, this is a game that we're going to be the influencers on. We're not going to just say, oh, you're Argentina, that means we're supposed to lose. And we ended up winning the game 3-0. The little clip that we were watching had nothing to do with the goals. It had to do with the fight. It had to do with the attitude that we exuded, our resilience, our resolve. A couple of bad things happened in there. They were able to show us how good they are. Guys like Simeone and Zanetti and Ortega, they were having good games. Batistuta was up top. And, I remember him kind of like, you guys are good. And it wasn't that we were good. It's just that we weren't willing to take our foot off the pedal for a second. And that's when we watch our team play now. When you play against Panama, who is now ranked higher than us, by the way, in the world rankings, which is pretty embarrassing, as is Canada. But that's what happens when you lose games like this. It's the other rating system, not FIFA rankings, the one that actually matters. I forgot what it's called right now. But when you look at the way that we need to play, when you are the top dog in your region, that's harder. That's a lot harder. I mean, when you're playing in games that you're not supposed to win, and you got to bring it, and those are the challenging moments where you really discover what kind of player you are. But when you're playing against the likes of Panama, no offense to Costa Rica, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, all those guys, Jamaica, these are games where we need to be the influencers. We need to basically say we are the United States, and we're better than you, not because we think we're better than you, because we're about to prove that we're better than you. And you got to be willing to make those plays to save the baby, if you will, and put it in. And when I said I didn't, at least I gave a shit, and I just think it's a collective mentality that they need to just kind of have in these kind of games. And we didn't see it. We saw a bunch of guys afraid to get hurt, and a lot of them have a point watching what happened to Alphonso Davies. But
You might get sued.
yeah, right. It's like, but in this scenario, our guys, if we're going to do this the right way, if I were Mauricio Pochettino, I can tell you right now the way I would handle what just happened. I would say the next big. I think we play against Turkey, right, in June.
Turkey and Switzerland. Yep.
I would say, hey, Weston, go have a vacation, enjoy yourself. Christian, don't need you. Have a nice. Yeah, but the sponsors are gonna. I don't care. You just lost money. Sorry. I don't care. I need to see who does care. So why don't you, in that pretty girlfriend of yours, go play some golf? Have a week off, buddy. I'll see you when you're ready. But I am ready. No, you're not. Sorry. So I would leave some of these guys completely out of it.
I think you have to, some of these guys, because we're in this like trap where it's like, oh, these guys don't care, we're losing games. Oh, you can't leave them at home because we'll lose games. It's like,
No, let's find the next Diego Luna. Okay, Diego Luna, I love you. I've had you on my show.
Passion.
But he throws people off with all the tattoos. I mean, everybody makes these preconceived notion that this guy is something that he's not. He's a very intelligent kid, and he's very ambitious. He wants to see how far he can take things. That's what we're looking for. If we're really being honest, that's the kind of player who actually doesn't look at this game against Canada in a third place whatever as an obligation. He looks at it as an opportunity, and that's what we need right now. Pochettino needs to send a message to these players that there's more of you than we thought, and they're going to prove it. I mean, if anything, that January camp that we all call the Cupcake Cup, and we all say, oh, blah, 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 these guys aren't really the real deal. Man, they won both games. End of story. End of story. They won both games. It doesn't matter who they are or who the opposition was. They won the game they were in. They beat the opposition that was in front of them. When's the last time our guys have done that? We were going over this. I think it was. I'm not going to bring his name into this, but the anger was a little. I wouldn't say it was misguided, but because it's backed by facts. But the question is who has this golden generation beaten? Ask yourself that right now. If you were to say, what's the best win we've had over the last 7 years? What is it? Is it Mexico?
I mean, Mexico. I mean, when I think of big games, I think it draws. I don't even think it wins.
So we can't even do it. We can't even say, okay, well, we beat Iran in a 1-0 game in a World Cup. We also, we tied the likes of England. We tied Wales. But I can't. We couldn't do it either. We couldn't eat it. And so we said to ourselves, well, who did we beat? Like let's pick 7 years. So let's go 1990 to 1997. right? Let's go with that. So in between 1990 and 1997, who did we actually beat? And we were sitting there, we were going, all right, well, we beat Ireland twice. We beat Scotland. We beat Portugal. We beat Brazil. We beat Argentina. We beat Colombia. And we're doing this thing where we're kind of going, damn, we beat England. We beat England 2-0 in 1993. I mean, and then people come at you and say, well, that was the worst England, blah, blah, blah. And you kind of go, it was still England. You know, what do you want us to do? We beat Chile. We beat all the teams we were supposed to beat. We beat Mexico 3 times. We beat Mexico 4-0 in what was called the U.S. Cup. We absolutely destroyed them. I don't think our team has ever beaten Mexico 4-0. We were a ruthless group. We were up 2-0, and we wanted so badly to just really put them under. And that ruthlessness that we had, I'm trying to remember who scored in that game. So it was, I think Wegerle scored, Dooley scored, Reyna got a goal, and John Hart's got a goal. But and we had a good performance, I think, from Casey. But I think it could have been 6. Could have been 6. And then we hear all about, oh, we've never been this good, and we've never this, and this is the best we've ever been. And I'm like, who have we beaten? Like, we judged ourselves on the realities of did we win the game? And is this a bigger question? Are we getting to a point where we're so busy developing or whatever that is? Does this all the way go down to our youth systems? Who do we blame here? But when you have something to prove, which we did, we address the game differently. These guys seemingly don't think they have anything to prove, and I think they're operating under the assumption that they're just going to hit a switch in an important game and it's going to magically happen. Got news for you guys. It doesn't happen that way. You got to earn it, and you have to create a winning mentality. Even in when you lose, you got to be angry that you lost. You got to hate it, and then that's going to drive you to make sure that you don't let it happen again. These guys are just kind of on to the next one. Okay, we lost again. That's okay. Because that really wasn't that important. And if that's going to be our excuse, then we're not getting better.
Well, I think, you hit the nail on the head, and it's something I've been saying too. Like, they are too infatuated with the glitz and the glamour of, oh, look at who I play with my club. I play for Dortmund. I play for Milan. I play for Juve. That these guys care, Eric, more. They are club over country. You guys were never a
Hey,
country over
listen,
club.
that's okay. That's okay. Those are the guys that pay you a lot of money. I get it. I get it. But don't cheat us when you put the uniform on. I mean, we're the older group, right? We fighting that because we sound bitter and we sound angry, and we can't help but make comparisons and stuff like that. I got news for you. Yes, we're fucking bitter. The way that we had to go through this process to make sure that the future generations would have everything, all the resources. The sport has grown in leaps and bounds, and they have all the opportunity, and they're just not taking it. I mean, it's like we were like, if we went, like the scenario, I guess, another analogy, but if somebody put a plate of food in front of us, we were thankful. Thank you. I'm hungry. And even if it was bad, we were going to eat it. that's who we were. These kids are like, I didn't want any parsley on my mashed potatoes, and the meat's cold. Can you take it back, please? That's who they are.
Yeah.
We are just as much to blame for what they have become. But
Yeah.
that's the way
Because
they
we
they
put them on this pedestal. And Lexi had said this numerous times, like you said this. You guys aren't jealous or anything like that because you just know the times are different. But what you guys built gave them this opportunity. And it just feels like they're not seizing it.
I as a parent of 6 children, right, and I got to live this 6 different times with 6 different personalities in 6 different ways. Um, you pride yourself as a parent when your child goes out into the world and has good manners, appreciates um, their life, they are respectful to their elders. They are respectful to people. They say thank you. Um, they conduct themselves in a way that makes you proud. I just don't feel that way about these boys. I don't. I don't. I'm just like every single second, I'm holding my breath, waiting for the next time that I'm going to be embarrassed by them. And that's a shitty way to live. It's a shitty way to parent. And I'm not blaming their parents. Essentially, our support groups and the media and everybody that has got on board with entitling these gentlemen to being something that they're not. We're responsible for the reason why they act the way they do. I think we should start a new campaign. Let's just start telling them they fucking suck a lot. You aren't good enough. What do you mean? What? What? I mean, me? No, yeah, you. You're not good enough right now, and you need to get better. If you want to be a part of this, we need you to be better. End of story.
And who's the dog on this team? Who's the heart of this team? Who's the guy that when you're down is leading you back and trying to get this team to rally? They just don't have that guy.
No, they don't. And we've actually we've really fought back on this, in the past. I think there was a numerous guys from the '94 group. What happened to us in '98 is just a travesty, because that was really an overwhelmed coach and a dysfunctional team, and just this it was really sad that had to be that version of it. And we great response in 2002. But if you were to go back to the 2002 group and you really lock it down, I mean, we'll all point to Guchanyewu, right? With that look of like, you want to go, let's go. You want to fight, let's fight. But there was multiple personalities in that team that were willing to fight. I'll tell you a quick story, and I think it's relevant because I don't know what kind of group this is. And when we got the goal the other day, Ajaman got a kind of a tap in, pretty smart play from Diego Luna. That was the most fragmented celebration I've seen in a long time. A lot of guys almost didn't know how to celebrate, or just kind of, hey, good job. Hey, well, yeah, well, whatever. And it didn't look like a team to me. I remember when we were just coming out of '95, and then we were all kind of taking part in Major League Soccer. Some of us were disgruntled about it. Some of us were complaining about it because we didn't like it. We didn't like playing at Ohio State when the field was 59 yards wide. Those are tough days. But we all kind of came together as a national team, and we were down in Orlando in January, and I remember, I won't get into the names, but one of our teammates, we had gone to a bar, one of those, with sawdust on the floor, and the wooden stools, and we were just there to watch a game. I don't even remember what game it was, but there's multiple televisions, and we needed a break, so we were going to go as a group, as a team, to a local establishment and just kind of walk in. And back then, it was, nobody knew who the hell we were. We were all in street clothes. It was kind of nice to be anonymous, but we walked in, and one of our guys, unfortunately, had gone to the bar, and unfortunately talked to one of a girl who was sitting at the bar, and not realizing that her boyfriend and another guy were down at the other end of the bar, and we're like, "What's this? Who's this guy? What's he doing?" And then it was very clear that there was going to be a fight. It was like one guy tapped the other guy on the shoulder and said, "Let's go get this guy, our guy." And I'll never forget this. They got close to our teammate, and then you heard the distinct noise of 12 wooden stools scoot back at the exact same time. Think about that. In the moment that our guy was about to get in a fight, 12 stools made that noise that you would hear on a hardwood floor. And those two looked up, and I remember saying, "He's with us. We got it. He's out of there. You don't want this." And those two guys goes, "Yeah, you got it." Because he just realized that obviously 13 people out of two are going to win, but that was a team. Regardless of what we thought in that moment, you just don't mess with one of our guys. I don't know what kind of team we've got. I know that our guys would stick up for each other no matter what. No matter what. even if they were wrong. Same thing on the field. Bad foul. If there's going to be a yellow card, we would get there first to make sure that ref didn't, pull the card out because we were a team. I think that when I look back at those moments, and then you go and I think we were preparing to go down and play against Mexico, and we got a 0-0, and Jeff Agus got red carded. Thanks, Jeff. I had to play left back in that game, but nobody missed a beat. We didn't blame anybody. We just said, all right, the task has changed. The agenda is still, we're still on board with we know exactly what our objectives are, and it's to get the hell out of here with a tie. So everybody puts it in, and that's the kind of team we were. And I just haven't seen one of those moments yet out of these guys, and I'm wondering why. And when I say they don't care, I know they care. I just need them to show that they care, because it will make everything that all of us went through make sense.
100%. And I guess we'll move on to our final discussion about expectations, right? And you said earlier, leave guys at home. McKinney, maybe not Adams, but Pulisic. Don't bring these guys along. Give someone else a chance to prove themselves and show, like, kind of have the heart that Diego Luna had, right? Get more guys like that. So we mentioned we were playing Switzerland, Turkey in June, and then the Gold Cup is up. Do you honestly, like, as of right now, do you think we're going to figure this out, or do you think it's going to be another disappointment?
I mean, look, Pochettino is a really interesting guy. And I do think he has all the attributes to fix this, but he's got to make some tough decisions. Now, being the national team coach, and we've seen this over the years, I think I played for 6 different national team coaches, believe it or not. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. But when you look at all the things that he's having to go through and decipher which direction he's going to take and how he's going to address some of these requests, I would say, from the federation, and or his ultimate ability to select the team, he has the chance right now to send the right message. What is the exact right message? Nobody really knows, but it's got to be specific to each individual. I do think that they are talented enough to figure this out. I do think that they believe that they can flick the switch and it will just magically happen. But this is like anything else. They're going to have to put it in. And a couple of these guys need to have it taken away from them briefly. I mean, not to say, okay, Christian, you're not on the World Cup team, right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying take a break. Make him miss it. Make him want it. I mean, all we saw before the Canada and the Panama game was a bunch of stupid little, pressers and all of these photo ops for these guys to do pictures in the uniform and show us how tough they are. And then Will Smith's there and they're doing these funny stuff at practice. And that's all good and great when you're promoting the game. I get it. I mean, we went through that in 1996 on a league level. We were on planes flying everywhere trying to promote the start of the league more than we were practicing. Guys like Tab and I got hurt because of it, because we never really got an opportunity to do it. So we understand that part of the game. But when you look at why some of them are there and what some of their agents and some of their sponsors are saying is, when can we get the opportunity to do a photo shoot with my guy? He's going to be in the States. When can we? Oh, he's going to be here. When can I get him? I need 2 hours. And their focus isn't there. They're doing stuff because they're making money, and they're basically fulfilling some contract that we're completely unaware of with one of their sponsors. So you can't fault him for that, but because of the circumstances. But Pochettino has the ability to piss a lot of people off. Now he knows what this is. He can call that agent and say, hey, listen, either he comes in and he trains and he's a part of the everything, and he doesn't do all these photo shoots, and he doesn't, he's a part of us, or he doesn't come. You can fly him in. You can do all of your little, stuff on your dime, and do all of your promotions. That he's free. You can do whatever you want. But don't fuck with my team. Don't fuck with my practice schedule. This is real. This is important. And when you send that kind of a message to the guys, where trust me, they're going to be pretty receptive to that. The phone's going to ring, and they're going to be like, "No, I can't do it. I can't do it. Can't do it." And then they hang up, and they go, "Yes, I don't have to do that. I can focus on what's important, and that's the game." Pochettino has the ability to do that. The other part of this, and I hate saying this, is I don't know where his heart is. I mean, all we've heard about is having coffee with Dan Levy from Tottenham and talking about how he would entertain the idea of going back. He's got a lot of free time on his hands. He's been doing a lot of charity events and flying around and going to Argentina on our dime. I don't know where that's all at. Is this just a placeholder until he gets a job at the club level? I mean, it's a lot of money. We're paying him $6 million a year. It's kind of a nice life, isn't it? I mean, we did the math when Klinsmann was here, and Klinsmann hated it. Klinsmann wanted his guys. He wanted to work with them. Pochettino's kind of like, how many days do I have? Okay, 10 days. Got 10 days, and then I got to wait till June. Got your guys for 10 days, and now you don't do anything until June? It's a good job, man. You just went a whole month of May without even doing a thing. But I don't know what that is. $500,000 a month. It's a lot of money to do nothing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Well, I got a bonus question for you. Because now he's obviously figuring out who he likes, right? He kind of was getting his feet wet and seeing who he likes, bringing some guys in. Diego Luna seems like a guy that he has a lot of respect for and has grown on him or in the short time, right? You like Diego Luna. I like Diego Luna. A lot of heart, a lot of passion, a lot of potential. Is Diego Luna not? I mean, I think he's already. Well, it's still early, but if he continues the way he's going right now, he will have stamped a position or a roster spot in 2026. But Eric, is there a chance that Diego Luna could start for this team?
That's a great question. I think in certain games, I think this is the hardest part but I go through this all the time with our support groups. I mean, does everybody get it that it's not the same lineup every game? Does everybody understand that that's a feasible option? That certain games aren't really suited for certain players, that you have to have a different tactical means of addressing the game, which means certain guys probably aren't always suited for that particular game. Why is it that we have to have a set lineup and everybody in America has said, well, here's our starting 11. Here's my starting 11. Here's my, and I keep saying, well, who the fuck are we playing? I mean, that's your starting. Great, that's your starting 11. But what does that mean when we're going to play against this opponent or that opponent? What are you talking about? I mean, I think there's a lot of confusion in there. I think Diego Luna could play in a couple of games, but not in certain games where it might be the physical nature of the game or the speed of the game might be too much for him. I hate to say that, but he's not going to win any races. He's not. So you got to figure out what those games are, what they look like, and what kind of opponent you're playing against, and can you put him in a spot to succeed. We do this a lot. We'll put a guy like that and say, all right, we're going to play him against probably one of the biggest, strongest, dynamic midfields in the world, and we're going to say, oh, see, you played bad. Yeah, so what? You played bad against those guys, but figure out the game that makes sense for Diego Luna, and that's not every game. That's not every game, and that applies to other people too, the Reinas of the world, the Timothy Weahs of the world. Definitely like the Josh Sargents of the world. There's certain teams that he should play against, certain teams he has no business playing against. But that's all part of building a national team roster.
Yeah, I agree. I just hope that he gets a chance to start some games and that there's not, because there's obviously some people that are like, oh God, he plays them less. I don't want him anywhere near the starting 11, no matter what the circumstances are. But hey, that guy was the best team on the pitch against Canada for the USMNT by far. So I think we got to stop.
But that was just effort.
Just effort, yeah.
It was pure effort. But I think what was probably, and this is the most important part, and I'll make this brief. In the moment that mattered most, he exuded the ability to think fast, play fast, and make a really good decision that resulted in a goal. End of story. Either you can do that or you can't. I mean, Diego Luna could have really messed that play up. He could have elected to shoot. He could have freaked out the way Musa probably would have and sliced one with his left foot wide, and we all would have gone, oh. But he didn't. He kept his cool at a high speed. and made a really good pass. And my son will tell you this because I was live. I was at that game when Timothy Weah got the ball and actually did something positive and started driving at that right back. That was the first time I got on the edge of my seat. It was the first time I leaned forward and said, "Okay, okay, okay. Where are you going with this?" Because in those moments, it's kind of like downhill skiing, and then you come up a bunch of not downhill, but you're skiing, and you're going, and now you come into a group of trees. You can make one or two choices. You can just put the brakes on and go, "Oh shit, there's a bunch of trees," or you can say, "Fuck it, how fast can I go through these trees?" And what you'll find is the more trees you go through, the faster you go. That's a messy approach. I like it when our guys take on that challenge as if to say, all right, this might be fun. This could be really dangerous, but this might be fun. I'm gonna go in where it's tough, and I'm gonna test myself, and I'm gonna make a pass at speed, and I'm gonna see if this works out. And it ultimately, under those circumstances, Diego Luna passed that test, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I'll be interested to see what happens with him at the Gold Cup and moving forward. Eric, before I let you go, where can the people find your new show, Unleashed, at, and where can they find you at on Sirius XM, or what's your time slot?
Yeah, so SiriusXM is a daily deal. I do that with Jason Davis. We started off on the wrong foot. We fought a lot in the beginning. We were actually getting along a lot better. I think we figured each other out. We've been dating long enough to know what our little nuances is. So we have a lot of fun on that show. It's 4 to 7 Eastern time. That's 157 on Sirius. And then this new thing is Unleashed, which was an idea that was sponsor driven, that we thought, okay, well, let's just give people some real honest truths, and don't hold back. That's the name, Unleashed, and you can find that on YouTube. That's just me. But in the very near future, we're gonna have some pretty cool guests. We're kind of doing this. I don't hate to say it, but I'd liken it to maybe a Joe Rogan, because gonna have some pretty high profile people in my studio, and we're just going to take the gloves off and talk about stuff. So it's going to get really interesting. Up to this point, Unleashed has just been me talking and responding to some of the stuff that we get on X, just explaining things. And unfortunately, I called somebody a fucking idiot last week, but I still think they're an idiot. I just should take the F bomb off of that. But the show's fun, man. Unleashed is going to get a lot different in the next couple of weeks. As I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly in my guest to Las Vegas, put him up in a really nice hotel, give him dinner, play golf, and then we'll do a maybe an hour-long interview where we really dive in. So I mean, these are like, the Clint Dempseys of the world, the Jesse Marshes of the world, people that really have a strong influence on the way we see the world and the way we see the game. But to really just give them an opportunity to have a much more relaxed and candid approach to their opinions.
I'm looking forward to it, man. That will be awesome. I think it's a great idea. So make sure you check out Unleashed on Goals TV on YouTube, and also make sure you check out a show with Jason Davis on Sirius XM. You said channel 157, right?
157. That's where you find
157. Eric, it's always a pleasure. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate
Until next time, guys. I'll see you all soon.